If you've ever dreamed of picking up everything and leaving America and moving to the countryside of Portugal, maybe buying yourself a little piece of land on a lake like what we did, then you're gonna wanna watch this video. Because today I'm gonna talk about something that a lot of Americans do not share when it comes to moving to Portugal and moving to the countryside of Portugal. In fact, I'm gonna share 13 things that you need to know before you make that decision. Hey guys, it's Aman and welcome back to our Portugal lakeside property. So we have been living in Portugal for almost 6 years. And in fact, this is our 5th property in Portugal. It's actually our 4th one in the countryside. So the information that I'm gonna share with you today is based off of experience. And I can tell you that moving to the countryside of Portugal was one of the best things we ever did. We love being out here. It is truly paradise. But if you want to thrive in the countryside, there are some things that you should keep in mind. The first thing, get to know your neighbors. Now I'm talking to Americans specifically because Americans don't do a very good job of this at home. You could be living next to someone for years and barely get to know them. But here in Portugal, in the countryside, this is a necessity when it comes to everyday life. You see, out here, your neighborhood might just be you and one other person. At our lake house, there are maybe 10 of us in the whole village. And in the next village over, there are fewer than 20. You see, your neighbors will look out for your property, check in on you, and become your first real community. So when you move out here, introduce yourself early. You see, that connection goes a long way in the Portuguese countryside. Number 2, expect to work hard. If you are moving to the Portuguese countryside to relax, you might be in for a surprise. The bigger your property, the more you'll be working it. There's always something to do: cutting grass, trimming trees, clearing land, fixing fences. It's real work, but it's also fun. And as you know, with our property, it's just over 3 acres, and it is a lot of work to manage. And honestly, it's the best workout you'll ever have. So just keep this in mind, because the larger the property, the more work you'll be doing. And this brings me to number 3, keep your land clean. This one is not optional. You see, clean land isn't just about looks, it's about fire prevention. It's actually the law in Portugal to clear your land before summer. So trim your grass, cut back your brush, and maintain that space. Not only does it make your property look amazing, it keeps your neighbors safe. Number 4, expect labor shortages. Now, one of the nice things about moving to the countryside of Portugal is that housing is really affordable. In fact, you can find fixer-uppers here for 20 or 30,000 euro. So that's not a problem, finding affordable housing. The problem is finding the labor to help you fix up the housing that you may find. Construction workers, gardeners, and handymen, the good ones are busy and booked out for months. So plan ahead, get recommendations from locals, and when you find someone that's good, treat them well. They'll become part of your long-term team. Christina's already, oh my goodness, look at all those fish right next to the paddle. Let's talk about number 5, share what you have. Out here, people help one another. If your neighbor needs your ladder, your tractor, your lawnmower, lend it. And don't be surprised when they return the favor with a bottle of homemade wine, some fresh cheese, or vegetables from their garden. You see, that's how community works here. It's about giving and trusting that it comes back around. Next up is embrace the slower pace of life. But for Americans, this can be frustrating, because things that you would expect to be done yesterday, they take a little bit more time here. Life in the countryside moves differently. Things take longer. Repairs, deliveries, conversations, everything. Now, at first, that can drive you crazy, but the moment you stop fighting it is the moment that you start appreciating it. And what I mean by this is that it's slower, but it's peaceful, it's calm. And that is part of the magic of living here. Next up is you're gonna wanna buy a reliable car. Public transportation is far and few between in the countryside, and you will need a reliable car, truck, or maybe a van, especially if you have a big piece of land and you're gonna be doing a lot of work to it. You will be using that car often. Between picking up materials, hauling firewood, or just getting groceries, a good car, truck, or van makes country life a lot easier. Next, expect wildlife. Oh my goodness. That's a big snake. Huh. You will see wild boars, snakes, eagles, frogs, everything you can imagine, foxes. Fortunately, a lot of the wildlife that's in Portugal isn't very dangerous, but expect it, especially if you are one of those city folks that isn't used to seeing things. Just the other night, I was out for a drive not too far from our house, and I saw 3 wild boars on the mountainside at night. You see, that's actually what makes living out here so special. Nature is alive and all around you. If you're coming from the city, it'll take some getting used to, but soon it's gonna feel normal. Number 9, learn the language. In fact, use it day one that you move to the countryside. When you first encounter people here, try to speak the language, even if you only know a little bit, even if you only know the greetings, even if you mix in a little English. People are gonna recognize that you're making an effort. And that effort goes a long way towards earning you respect and building friendships. And number 10, get involved in the community. I cannot emphasize this enough. So volunteer for local events, support local farmers and vendors. This is so important because people remember who shows up. And you go from being an outsider to one of us. Number 11, and this one is so special. If anyone invites you somewhere, if your neighbor invites you somewhere, you go. If they invite you to dinner, to drinks, to coffee, wherever it may be, you accept that invitation. And I know for a lot of Americans, we will find an excuse not to hang out. We will say, oh, I'm too tired, I got too much work to do. But you know what? Get out of your comfort zone. Try something new. You'll find that just the act of doing something like that will give you energy. You will feel rejuvenated. So the excuses that you had, they will melt away. And so if you're invited, take it seriously because it's how real community starts out here. And so along those lines, if you are invited to someone's house or to an event, bring a gift. And if you can bring a gift that comes from your property, maybe it's vegetables from your garden, maybe it's fruit from your orchard, maybe it's olive oil or bread that you have made yourself, bring a gift. The more natural it is, the more effort it took to pick or make, that says a lot. And this brings me to my final tip. Enjoy the balance. You know, one of the most amazing things about living in the countryside is the balance and the simplicity of being here. Life here is simple in all the best ways. You eat local food, you breathe clean air, you wake up to peace and quiet. It's slower, it's quieter, and it's deeply fulfilling. You see, living in the countryside isn't just peaceful, it's purposeful. You're closer to nature, you're closer to people, and you're closer to yourself. And so it's not about escaping the US or escaping life, it's about living differently. And once you get a taste of it, you will never want to go back. And so I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. And you know what? If you guys want to hear our recommendation for the best countryside towns to move to? Let us know in the comments below. And as usual, if you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and join the journey.